Hello people of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel, Animate Orange, and this week in 3D metal model news, starting as usual with Metal Earth and Fascinations. Going to the Fascinations.com website, I don't see anything new coming this week. Going to the MetalEarth.com website, they appear to be having a bit of a glitch this morning. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's asking for a login or asking you to register. Registration is actually really easy. I punched in my information and email address and was then able to get to the website just fine. If you don't actually sign in or register, everywhere you try to go on the page brings you back to that login page. I've contacted someone at Fascinations. They appear to be looking into the issue, so I don't know what's going on there. But bottom line is I don't see any new models coming from Metal Earth or Fascination this week. No new announcements anyway. Going to Peace Cool, it's the same story there. So of course I turn my attention to AliExpress and Crazy Toys and places like that looking for other models, and I do see some new things from MU this week. One of the things that I see new from MU is something that I had talked about a little bit while back. I believe Yanfondi had posted about it on the Metal Earth subreddit. It's the IDW Drift Transformer. It is now available, just like was posted in the Metal Earth subreddit. This particular model appears to have posable arms. It's got magnets in it, so you can apparently pose it in different, somewhat different poses. Also has quite a few weapons and swords, so you can also pose it with those as well. The finished model size, according to the information online, is 17 by 14 by 17.5 centimeters. And that has been nicely translated into 6.7 by 5.5 by 6.9 inches. The sheet size is 25 by 19 centimeters. It's a multicolored model, fairly obviously. 5 sheets, 291 pieces, has a difficulty rating of 6 out of 7 stars. Another MU Transformers model to add to your collection. That is another sizable model. Looks to be wonderfully detailed and just, wow, another amazing model. What can I say? If you're into the Transformers models, they're still coming out with them. The other two things that I see are an MU Bat Chatillon 25T tank. I'm not sure if I said that right. It's another tank. It is a color model. The finished size on that is 14.5 by 6 by 5.5 centimeters or 5.7 by 2.4 by 2.2 inches. Metal sheet size is 11 by 19 centimeters or 14.3 by 7.5 inches. It is 5 sheets, 184 pieces, and ranked at 6 out of 7 stars for a difficulty. And then we have the MU-12 Constellations model. This is stainless and brass, according to the information on it. Finished model size 13.5 by 11.5 by 15 centimeters or 5.3 by 4.5 by 5.9 inches. Metal sheet sizes are 25 by 19 centimeters. Another multicolored model. There's 4 sheets, 106 pieces. This one has a 5 out of 7 star difficulty. And also, I noticed when I was looking through the MU-12 Constellations, there's a letter from Hasbro granting license to Metal Earth. So I don't know, or not Metal Earth, but granting license to MU for this model. I've seen this letter posted before. I'm not exactly sure why they get posted other than to try to say that this is a licensed model, but it does kind of make it look like this has something to do with Transformers. Maybe that's the case. I haven't been keeping up with the newer Transformers movies, but if you have any information on that, feel free to leave it down below. But that is another new model. It also kind of looks like there's 2 different pictures. One of the pictures shows it kind of brightly lit, and the other picture shows it not so brightly lit, more of a realistic picture. It almost makes it look like it may be LED lit. I'm not sure. There's nothing in the information about it coming with any LED lights or batteries or any of that. I've seen these models both on crazytoys.co.uk, which I have a link to their website in the description down below, and I've also seen it on Crazy Toys AliExpress site, but none of these MU models have appeared yet, as of recording this, have appeared at any of the other stores that I'm aware of on AliExpress. So I've got links directly to them, each model, on AliExpress, and a link to Crazy Toys if you want to purchase them in that fashion. And last week I had talked about the 11/11 sale on AliExpress, which has come and gone. I did end up getting a couple of models, got a little bit of a discount, but nothing spectacular. A lot of the stores I noticed were advertising decent discounts, 20-30%, but the reality is their normal price that they were discounting from was a little bit higher than many of the other stores' regular price. So a little bit of shopping around, and I really didn't save that much, but I saved a little bit. Maybe your experience, if it varies. However, one other good thing about that sale is it introduced me to a couple of other stores that carry 3D metal models that I wasn't aware of previously. One of the stores that I learned about was a store called Laugh and Learn, and in that store they had a section for music boxes. And in that section they have an MU model, music box model. They also have a number of other models that I don't remember seeing before. I may have seen them somewhere else, I'm not really sure, but this has them all listed together. I'm not entirely sure of the brand, Music Space, or one of the boxes shows something Music Space on it. There are several different models on the page, and one of the first models that I see is a Christmas tree model, so I'd take a moment to kind of go through that particular listing, just breeze through it really quick. So we'll take a brief look through here at the Christmas tree. You know, the very stop. It's $21 US dollars if you're in the US. We've got several different pictures of it, pictures with the box. Doesn't look to be a very complicated model. If we scroll down, there's quite a lot of information on this page, as there usually is. Went too far there, or did I? Page is modifying itself as I scroll through. Product name, Happy Hour Theme by DIY Music Box. Stainless iron, which I'm pretty sure means stainless steel. 22 by 5 by 22 centimeters. Package size. Product color, colorful. 3 pieces. Metal sheets. 14 by 14 by 17 centimeters. Dimensions for the finished model. Applicable age, 8 years old or older. I'm pretty sure 8 years or older would be what they mean there. Mode, rotation mode, so it rotates. Feature DIY, do-it-yourself, plus rotation, plus music. The song is Jingle Bells. So they actually tell you in this listing what the song is. Not all of them tell you that. High quality, made of metal, materials are recycled and safe, no glue. Our metal music box is the safest and most entertaining among all 3D puzzles for adults and kids to build. Do-it-yourself experience, easy self-assembly. Best gift for any occasion, detailed designs. You know, they're just talking the model up here. We've got some pictures of the model. With a close-up, you can see there's some dangly bits in there. They've got some more close-ups farther down. It's a little bit more of a close-up. You can kind of see, it looks like maybe some of these are attached to the metal and some of them are hung on there, little rings with gaps that you have to close. I think they even do a closer up picture. There's the bottom of it. You can kind of see the mechanism inside of there. And the wind up on the bottom. More pictures of it. More details about the packaging. We've kind of already gone over that. Here you can see the sheets. It's mostly big parts. So it probably comes together fairly quickly. I think somewhere in here it says it's like an hour to put this thing together. Oh yeah, the product is accompanied by instructions which are intuitive and simple to complete. Need about a half an hour. Is suitable for people over 8 years old. And there's, I'm not sure if that's more of the, just the back of the box maybe, plus a picture of the model. I'm not sure. Turn clockwise, clockwork 3-4 turns at the bottom of the music box. And the music box will rotate with the beat of the music. So I guess turn this down here, that will rotate, pretty simple. Product size, you can see it's 15 or 16.5 centimeters tall. And it's about the size of an iPhone apparently. I don't know how accurate that picture is. Here's a close-up. You can see these two appear to be part of the metal. These here, you can see the ring with a little gap. These two might be a little difficult to place in there, but otherwise it looks like this is a pretty quick and simple model. Merry Christmas. Some more close-ups of the different thing. And down here we have the sheets, the movement, which is the music box, clockwork. This is the thing that I'm assuming screws to the bottom and winds it up. Instruction manual, movement tray, Guessing this probably mounts to that and then mounts to the rest of it, so it turns. There's a screw, and apparently it comes with a little tiny screwdriver. And with the advancement of the use of mechanical movement, the metal gradually run in. The mechanical sound will be more It's a music box. These things have been around forever. Music boxes like that have been around forever. This isn't really new technology. And then the product packaging here. There's a fair amount of detail, and all of these listings have that. Some more. Take out the part, cut the product parts, cut the product for spare. Parts are bent according to the instruction. 90-degree bend after aligning the socket, and suddenly finish. It's, you know, they're throwing a lot of information in here. But yeah, and then it goes into about shipping. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm going to kind of quickly go over the different models that are listed on that page. Forgive me, I'm looking down at my laptop as I talk here because I've got all the information laid out down below. We have the Happy Hour Christmas tree that we just talked about. It appears to have the Jingle Bells song. It's about 17 centimeters tall. We have the Castle in the Sky, which is kind of a Ferris wheel. I've seen the Castle in the Sky Ghibli movie once before. I don't know if it's actually related to that movie. I don't remember anything in there about a Ferris wheel, but maybe I'm wrong. Probably not anything to do with it. It has the Castle in the Sky song. It is 16 centimeters tall. We have a Carousel, plays It's a Small World. That's 15 centimeters tall. Phonograph apparently plays By My Side. I think that's around 14 centimeters tall. I forgot to actually make a note of that. We have one that made me giggle a little bit. There's a Michael Jackson themed music box. Now this one is a little bit more complicated. It has remote control and colored lights in it. And it also makes the note in that there's a tutorial video on how to put it together. It may be all of these come with a tutorial video. I'm not sure. This one's 18 centimeters tall. It doesn't say what music it plays. Moving on from there, we have the Windmill. That one plays Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's about 17 centimeters tall. Space City. This one does have remote control and lights. It's 19 centimeters tall. It doesn't say the song that I saw. Eternally Love plays for Elsie, or Elise, excuse me, for Elise. 14.3 centimeters tall. A Model Building. Remotes and lights with that one. It's about a little over 18 centimeters tall. We have Forest Frenzy. That has remote and lights. Lights up. 22 centimeters tall on that one. We have the Music Box Christmas Gift Music and Light Music Box Valentine Gift, etc., etc. I don't think that one quite knows what it is yet, but another one of the models available. It's remote and light rotation. 19 centimeters tall. Again, doesn't say the song that it plays, or maybe it doesn't play a song. We have the Love Building. That one is music, lights, and also has listed time clock. Has a USB neon light, and it's 15 centimeters tall. I'm not sure, but maybe the ones that have the lights, maybe not all of them have music. I'm not really sure. Winter Snowscape is up. Then we have Winter Snowscape has remote and lights, 17 centimeters tall. We have Fun Paradise remote, has a remote and lights, 18 centimeters tall. And Dinosaur Theme, last on the list, also remote and lights, 19 centimeters tall. There's a lot of detail there. I don't want to go through every last one of them in detail here for this video. There's a link to the page down below because they have kind of has its own page on AliExpress in that store, so you can go explore it for yourself. Don't know anything about these models other than what I'm seeing on this page, but it's something interesting and new. And the price is a little high, but it comes with a music box. But they seem to be simple models. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious to get one. I have so many things on the table now. I don't know if I ever will, but I wanted to share that they were out there. Beyond that, that's really all I'm seeing new this week in the 3D metal model world. So that brings us to the topic of the week, or actually last week's topic. I've been talking a bit about what's coming new from Metal Earth. Last week we talked about some rumors about some full body models that are coming out, and I left with question, with the idea that there's a full body Darth Vader and Boba Fett coming. Are you interested in those models? And also, if what other models, what other full body figure models would you like to see Metal Earth come out with? I got a few responses. I'll read those now. From Drummer Matt UK, I love the idea of a full person figure. I'd love them to do more Marvel ones. Star Wars has endless possible characters, but they could also branch into themes we haven't seen before and do full-size characters of those. Very interesting and very much true. There's a lot of world out there they could branch into. Marvel does seem to be a high seller. Certainly there is some interest that Metal Earth is going to put out something that sells. They're not going to put out something that doesn't sell. But Marvel would seem like a pretty good area to go in as far as popularity. And they've already got a couple of figures out as it is. Christopher Thorpe would love to build some Dinobots. Not sure who has the Transformers license though. I remember reading that comment and thinking, you know, that's a wonderful idea. I didn't think of that. I forget about the Dinobots. I actually had some Dinobots when I was a kid. Some Transformers models. That would be an interesting build and fun to have in your collection. George Bell, I would love to see more full body models. I do plan on eventually building Iron Man and War Machine. The metal brick Captain America is actually one of the models that got me interested in the hobby. My hope is to one day be skilled enough to tackle something like that. Since you can't find it anywhere anymore, it would be amazing if we had other options. And I ended up responding to that particular post after it was posted because you can still find that model and there are knockoffs of that model. But nonetheless, Metal Earth could move in that direction as well, and I think a lot of people would be interested in that. Like I said a few minutes ago, or a moment ago, Marvel seems like it would be another great area to move into full-size figures as well. Or at least continue to come out with, because they already have two. Walter J. Schuler, yes, full figure Boba Fett and Darth Vader would be awesome. As far as any others, I'm a die-hard Marvel fan, so I'd love to see some more of those as well. There's also a lot of horror fans out there, so maybe something from those movies. There is so many different genres, it's hard to pick one. Neat fact for you, if you watch the movie Passengers, Chris Pratt designs and builds a Metal Earth-like model in it, of the Chrysler building, I believe. Thought it was a pretty cool detail. That's a pretty cool detail. And again, we're talking about Marvel. It seems like a lot of people would be interested in more full-figure Marvel figures. We've already got 3. I keep saying 2. We've got 3. I forget about Black Panther. We have Iron Man, War Machine, and Black Panther already. There could be more. Thank you, everybody, for your feedback on that. There does seem to be the Marvel theme in there, and people do seem to be excited. At least some people are excited about the alleged Star Wars models coming soon. Keep talking about that as if they're already here, but they're still just a rumor. I want to move into this week's question of the week. This is one of the questions that was asked on last video that I kind of wanted to expand more upon. And the question comes from Chris Thorpe. What model, if any, would you want to go back and rebuild from when you first got into the hobby? For me, it would be redoing my first AT-AT and Batmobile. Love both, even with my early errors building them. And I immediately said on that particular question that I'm going to wait until next news video to answer that question, because that is a good question. And that is something that I have thought about endlessly. When I first got into this hobby, the first thing that I built was the Millennium Falcon, and it went fairly well. From that, and at the time, I should point out, at the time, there were only 4 Star Wars models. When I first got into this, I think it was 6 years ago now, there were only 4 Star Wars models, and I was hesitant to get into it because I was worried. It says no tools required, no soldering needed, and I'm like, no, there's got to be a catch. But I found the Millennium Falcon at A. Seymour for half price. I did that one, and it was a catch. It was tricky to do, and it's a delicate process. Looking back now, however, it's such an easy model compared to some of the things we've got coming out now. And it turned out well, except for the dish. I was never happy with how the dish turned out. And the difficulty in getting that dish right is one of the many things that led me into designing and 3D printing cone shaping tools for these models. The second thing I got into was Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, or the Advanced TIE Fighter, and I just wrecked it. And a lot of other people did too. I looked on Amazon, and a lot of other people had wrecked the same model, had the same mistakes. And one person had the idea of going about it in a different fashion, and I did that. I wanted to make a video on that as well. I wanted to help others, but I wrecked it, and I was just kind of like, well, crap. Can't help others if I'm breaking it. So what I ended up doing is I gave it another shot. I made a video on where I went wrong and where I planned on doing better, and I redid it, and I completed it the second time by changing the way I put the guns on, the way I did the body, so that I put stuff in before I closed it up. And it went better, and I made videos on that, and that's just how this channel got started. So, I'm drifting away from the question. The question is, were there models you'd like to revisit? And that TIE Fighter was one of them, but I have revisited the Advanced TIE Fighter. And then later I did the regular TIE Fighter, and using the knowledge and experience from the Advanced, I did it differently than the instructions, and I did it better. But it still kind of was a little bit sloppy. I since revisited the TIE Fighter, the regular TIE Fighter, because I wanted to make a second one for the diorama that I once did. I did a little diorama, tried to recreate the scene where they were going down, the X-Wings and Luke are going down trying to shoot into the exhaust port down that little channel, and the TIE Fighters are chasing them. And so I built a second TIE Fighter so I could set up a diorama of Darth Vader and his TIE Fighter with two regular TIE Fighters following, chasing the X-Wing. And I did that, and I used spare Metal Earth parts to build detail on the diorama. It's very simple. I still actually have it floating around here in the basement somewhere. But part of me that TIE Fighter didn't turn out as good as I'd like for it to, and I kind of still want to revisit it, and I kind of don't want to bother with it again. I frequently find myself just moving forward, building the next thing, and a lot of that is driven by the fact that I'm doing these videos and I'm wanting to help others, so I'm constantly wanting to move forward to make new videos rather than going back and remaking old videos. But I would, for the sake of making a better video, I would like to go back and revisit some of those early Star Wars models, like the first 8 that they came out with. I'd really like to redo those videos, because not just the model, but the video I could do so much better now. I've learned so much, I've got better camera equipment, I've got better editing skills. I think I could do a much better video, make a much better model. So there's a lot of reasons I'd like to go back and redo them, but I haven't. Or at least I've done some, but I haven't done them all. I think I redid the X-Wing, redid a video for that using a knockoff. I think I redid the AT. That was a pretty simple model. I was going to redo the Imperial Star Destroyer because, again, with the cones and the thrusters, I just did such a terrible job. And I started on that one but never finished it. But those are some of the models I would like to go back and kind of do again. Those were the early days. Some of them I have revisited, some of them I haven't. I know Code Wookiees recently sort of revisited the R2-D2 model, and that's one, that middle leg just bugs me, how that middle leg doesn't want to fit right, and I'd kind of like to redo it. There are a number of other models that I would kind of like to redo and do better, but I kind of don't want to mess with them again. I was still very early on when the Transformers, G1 Transformers models came out, and those were a big step up at the time in difficulty, and I'd like to think I could do them a little bit better, but I'm okay with where they are, and I just kind of, again, want to move forward and don't want to go back and redo those particular models. There is one that bugs me a little bit because I completely misunderstood the instructions and what I was supposed to be doing, and that I think is the Black Pearl. I did the Black Pearl. It's one of the first models I did outside of like Star Wars, licensed, Marvel models, because at first when I was doing this channel, everything I did was sci-fi or license or ships or comic book. And it didn't vary outside of that very much. That certainly changed, and one of the big models I think for doing that, making me get interested in other, was the Himeji Castle. But I did the Black Pearl as a request, and I really thought that the bottom of the hull was supposed to close up, and I really tried so hard to close that up, and it didn't work. And then I realized, you're not supposed to close the bottom up. It's a simple model. It sits on a stand. You're supposed to just look at it from the top. The bottom is open. And I'd love to go back and redo that model. Honestly, though, at the same time, I'd rather get the Iconics Black Pearl and just do that one. So yeah, there's a number of models I'd like to go back and do better. There's a number of models that I wished I could do better, but I just kind of accepted them as they are because there's so many to build, and I keep moving forward. But that's a complicated question. There's no one particular model that I can think of that's absolutely bugging me that I've got to go back and do it, but there are a number that I'd like to, that I know that I could do a lot better if I were to do them again today. And there are a few, like the TIE Fighter, those little guns, I can never seem to quite get those guns right. I'd like to think I could do better, but I'm kind of afraid to try. That I'll end up disappointing myself again, or I'll just cheat and use some UV glue, which I need to make a video on that. I've been occasionally toying with the UV, like 5-second fix type glue. It has its purposes, but yeah. So I hope that answers your question. I could keep going on and on about that, because as you can see behind me, I've built a lot of models, and there's a number of them that I could probably do better if I did them over again, but I keep moving forward because there's so much more to do. So I'll open it up to you. Is there a model that you would like to rebuild, and why? What is it that went wrong? What is it that you think you could do better? Leave your answers in the comment down below. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I'll leave it at that. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for those of you that comment and interact. I do appreciate it. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters for continuing to support this channel. Thank you very much for your support. Links are in the description down below. I'll see you next week. As always, keep on keeping on.